So good morning, students. Welcome to this 40 days revision program. First thing first, I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Please, if someone can confirm me, I will start the class today. Right, thank you. Look, see, many of us who are preparing for mains or writing mains this year always follow a strategy. What is the strategy is we will be thinking that I have to read everything and then I have to write answers and then I have to attend the mains test. But everything reading within this 80 days is very, very difficult. But what we have to understand is with the limited knowledge that we have, how we can reiterate the subject or reproduce the subject in various fields. That should be the thing. So what does that I mean to say when you have to reiterate the things? I mean to say whatever the things that you have read so far, try to link it with all the subjects at all the places. All the subjects at all the places. There are certain things which we have to always follow when we are writing mains. Mains answer writing is an art because it requires certain essential things which you have to keep. What are the essential things for answer writing? The first essential thing is subject specific words. Subject specific words are very, very important. Say for example, if you are writing society, you should have some subject specific words relating to society like the institution of family, the institution of marriage, the institution of adoption, the institution of patriarchy, the institution of matriarchal systems. So these things, right? So that is the words that you have to use, subject specific words. If you are writing about ethics, there are some subject specific words like integrity, aptitude, probity, emotional intelligence, right? Good governance. These are the things. So for every subject, you should have subject specific words and you have to reiterate them. Second thing that you should have is, you should have some flesh for answer writing. What do I mean by flesh? Everyone can write a bare answer. If they ask about new education policy, everyone can write. If they ask about some essay writing, everyone will write without flesh. Flesh means you should have some statistics, quotations, some case studies. You should have something like Supreme Court judgments, case studies means articles of Indian Constitution, and most important flesh is the daily current affairs. You have to be able to link your answers with daily current affairs. That is very, very, very important. Say for example, if you are writing about governance, say for example, you are writing about environment. If you have read yesterday's newspaper, there is something called Blue Ocean event. There is something called the monsoons were delayed by almost 2 weeks this year. So you have to link that things in the answer writing. So those who are writing mains this year, first thing that I require you people is don't lose hope that I didn't read. Much of the people lose the hope that I didn't read. Don't lose hope. Second thing is, the moment you lose hope, you lose the hope to write all the 20 questions. So what should be our mindset? The mindset should be clear. With my knowledge, I am going to attend 20 questions substantially or decently well. That should be the thing. Second thing is, why we lose hope? We lose hope because of pendency of reading. There is something pending. Pending always leads to loss of hope. That I didn't read world history, I didn't read Indian history, I didn't read geography, I didn't read case studies, or I didn't practice case studies. That could be the thing. Pending. So don't lose. This is the first way where you lose hope. Rather than that, how you have to cultivate your brain is, whatever the work that is pending, I will manage it from what I already read. This is the thing that you should have. Don't lose hope, have it. If you are not practicing writing, feed to your brain that, okay, I didn't write, but my structure is this. My structure for answer writing is this. I hope for those who are writing mains, you will be writing some mock tests also. So go ahead with this. So don't lose hope. The moment you lose hope, you don't attend 20 questions. So that is the second thing. So pending is one reason, writing is one reason. Because of these two reasons, we will be not having the enough hope to write 20 questions. If you don't write 20 questions, we don't get good marks. So all the questions should be attempted at any cost. Whether you know it or whether you don't know it, you have to read. The third aspect is many people might have prepared for your prelims or might have been depending upon some some study material. Study material reliance is okay, but this is not a substitute for newspaper. Now when I say newspaper, what do I mean by this? Newspaper gives everyday current affairs. In that everyday current affairs, there will be substantial portion to go and link with various subjects. So you should be in a position to link the subject in a substantial portion. What is the substantial portion that you have to link? You have to link it with the so-called everyday current affairs. This will act as the good flesh for you. Now, if you have not read the newspaper, many of you might not be reading the newspaper for the past 6 months or 7 months. At least you have 80 days from today. Read continuously for the next 2 months starting from today. What do I mean by reading the newspaper? What do I mean by reading the newspaper? Say, for example, if this is yesterday's newspaper. In internal security, they will definitely ask a question on Northeast insurgency. So you have to write this one. Manipur case study should be there in your answer writing. If they are asking about center-state relations or something like panchayat elections or municipality elections, which is again an expected question in GS paper 2, you should link it with West Bengal, what is happening in West Bengal. No need to read the entire newspaper. You should know the heading and you should be able to link it with that. Say, for example, in the international relations, if they are asking about India-USA relation, Prime Minister Modi's visit to this land has to be addressed or has to be written. Now look, if they ask about something like environment, you should be able to link with this. Recently, some states like Telangana has received less than 15 millimeters of rainfall, which is far below the expected levels. This indicates that the country is reeling under the so-called El Nino cases. So these are the things. Now this is another one. I am not asking you, you have limited time, I know. Don't read the entire newspaper, at least glance with the topics and glance and try to link it with the subject. That is the thing. Every day in the daily newspaper, you should be able to get at least some 15 topics, 15 headings, and that you should be able to link with various subjects. No need to write all these 15 topics at one place. Just buy the newspaper, go on seeing it. Then we will remember. So for next 2 months, even if you have not read newspaper, that is completely fine. You have 82 days as of now. Consistently follow this pattern. For the next 2 months, don't leave the newspaper, because newspaper, we don't remember quotations, we don't remember statistics. When we don't remember case studies, newspaper is going to be the best alternative to give the flesh. Everywhere you can use them. And for essay writing and ethics writing, this acts as a board. So that is the thing that I wanted to tell you. If your answer doesn't have what is going on, the examples with what it is going on in and around the world, our answer looks a substandard answer. So start reading newspaper at least 30 minutes. Again, no need to go throughout the paper. Glance at the headings. Once you glance at the headings, try to link it with various subjects. Where I can use this? Can I use this in international relations? Can I use this in social justice? Can I use this in internal security? That you should have some clarity. So these are the 3 things. Fourth thing is, whenever we are writing mains, the most important aspect that we have to remember is mains answer writing has something like some strengths. You should have some strengths. There are few papers. GS paper 1 you have, GS paper 2 you have, GS paper 3 you have, ethics you have, essay you have, optional you have, right? In GS paper 1 you have history, which includes Indian history, world history, geography, society, polity, governance in society, social justice, international relations, economy, science and technology, environment, internal security, theory of ethics, case study of ethics, philosophical essays, subjective essays. Right? This is how UPSC is depending or giving the syllabus. Now, what you have to understand is, one thing that you have to understand here is, you should know what are your strengths in this area. What are your strengths? Say, after reading everything, at least you might be strong at society, or someone will be strong at international relations, someone will be strong at science and technology. First, you know what are your strengths. Why I am telling you what are your strengths? Say, for example, if your optional is public administration or sociology, you might be good at society and social justice. If your optional is something like political science, you might be good at international relations and polity. So depending upon your optional or depending upon your prelims strength, someone would be having modern history as their strength. So you have to build that. Why I am saying you to build on that? Because essay writing has huge potential from this strengths. You have to start essay writing with an introduction. How you will introduce is based on your strength subject. Whatever the question that they are going to ask in essay writing, say for example, if they ask something like beauty is truth, truth is beauty. If my strength is modern Indian history, try to link it with some event in modern Indian history so that it will act as a good introduction. And whenever I say what are your strengths, this will save your time. You should have confidence enough that, okay, if the question is asked here, I will be able to manage even after not reading it. So this is the way to quickly analyze your things. So know your strengths and know your weakness in the subject. And no need to feel. Say for example, if some student who have cleared prelims and if they are not in a position to don't know or not in a position to correctly say that none of my subject is strength. So don't worry, you can still read. So don't lose hope. So exam is all about hope. So don't lose about it. If you have strengths, go ahead with the strengths. If you don't have any strengths, at least accept that I do not have and build on that. This is the next thing that I wanted to say. So what are the things? Before going into this, starting the subject, I wanted to tell you 3 things. Mains answer writing, if you want to be inside, it doesn't matter whether you have read it or not. What matters is how you are going to present it. So this is all about, again, a mind game. Whatever the questions are being asked, you have to make up your mind that I am going to attend all the 20 questions and I am going to come out. That is the first thing. Second thing, read. If you don't have read the newspapers, at least start reading from today. No need to go through on every in detail. At least scan. Don't need to scan. At least skim through the newspaper. Look at the headings and try to link it with various topics in the syllabus. That is second most important thing. Why? The reason is, for your answer writing, real life examples are going to add much value compared to static examples. Third one is, for every subject, whenever you are taking these subjects, you should have subject specific words. Now the question is, where you will get subject specific words? You will get it from the syllabus, you will get it from the notes that you are writing or reading, and you will get it from previous year questions. That is the thing. And the fourth thing is, answer writing is a mind game. It is not about reading. Even if you not have read something, try to manage. You have to manage the answers. This is what I wanted to give before starting the subject. So what is I am going to discuss from today. So this is day number 1. I am starting with ethics and essay. The reason is, within next 7 days, you should be able to write some decent answers for ethics and essay writing. Let me start with ethics. Now look, in ethics, this is the syllabus that you have. So there are 250 marks. 125 marks will be case studies. 125 marks will be questions. For this, they will give 10 questions. For this, they will give 6 case studies. So for this 10 questions, again, what they will give, sometimes they give A and B also in each section. So here there are 6 questions, which means here you have to give somewhere around 90 minutes. Here you have to give 90 minutes. Right? This is what ethics has. Now, what is the difficulty in essay ethics writing? I have spoken to students who have written mains last year, last but 1 year. What is the difficulty in mains? Why we are unable to get 100 marks? Let me tell from that extent. The reason is the length of the paper. Length of the paper has become very, very tough or very, very vast. Length of the question paper. So time, the moment length of the question paper is increasing, time will be the biggest factor. We will not be in a position to write all the questions that they are asking within 3 hours. And I said, if you are unable to write all the questions, our probability of reflecting good score is going to obviously reduce. How I can corroborate this? I have some evidences. Look at ethics was started in the year 2014. Now have a look at this. This is 2014 question paper of ethics. I'm not going to all throughout the paper. Look at the total number of papers that they have asked. So they gave 8 papers here. 8. 7 of 8, right? So 8 papers were given. This is 2014. Look at 2017 paper. It was again 8. So which means 2014, 15, 16, 17. The length of the paper is very, very less. Look at 2020 paper. 12. Which means from 8 they have increased it to 12. 4 extra papers were added or extra sheets were added that a candidate has to read within the 3 hours time. That is the reason why ethics answer writing has become difficult. This is last year, 2022. How many? From 12 to 16. Which means what they started with 8 sheets, today they are giving 16 sheets. Now imagine how our preparation has to be. Many students fail to address ethics because we will not be very quick in understanding the question. Look at this, 2014 versus 2022. Look at this case study. Look at the length of this case study, right? Half page. In 2022, look at this case study, guys. Almost more than half page. On one side, entirely they are giving. So the length of the paper has substantially increased. The moment length of the paper increases from 8 to 16, but you are given the same amount of time, then you will not be in a position to complete the paper. So the first difficulty in ethics is finishing the paper within required time. That is the first most issue that many students do face. So what is the difficulty in ethics? Finishing in time. Why? Length of the paper has increased from 8 to 16 pages, but time is limited, same time. So this is first difficulty. If you don't finish, you don't get good marks. Second thing is many students lack subject specific words. Subject specific words in essay writing. We will start thinking about the answer there. No, that is not the strategy. So more or less these are the two difficulties that an ethics candidate face. Now how to overcome this while you are writing the subject? First thing is, in order to finish the paper in time, you have to understand the question as quickly as possible. Understand the questions as quickly as possible. You should be very quick in understanding the question. Now how you understand the question as quickly as possible? You can understand it by reading previous year questions and case studies. Read all the case studies from 2014 to 2022. Second thing is reading some mock case studies. What do I mean by mock case studies? Someone who is keeping in some test series. I am not asking you to remember the answer. I am asking you to test how much time it is taking you to finish the reading. Test series. Like insights will be giving it, vision will be giving it. So read as many questions as you can so that you will be able to know what exactly they are asking. So this is about reading. I am not telling you don't think about the answer. Look at the time, how much it is taking. So the next best thing that you can read or we can quickly read is comprehension skills. Our English has to be so fast that you should be able to understand the questions quickly. For that, what it helps, again, you can take the help of some comprehensive passages of prelims that UPSC has kept, or daily newspaper editorials, two editorials. You have to be able to complete that editorial within 1 minute or 2 minutes. That should be our comprehensive skills in order to understand or in order to read quickly. So the first difficulty can be understanding the question as quickly as possible and as correctly as possible. So how it comes? It comes with practice. What practice? Not writing practice, reading practice. So read all the papers, all the question papers, and look at the time, how much it is taking and how much your brain is working on. So concentrate on reading aspect. That is the first thing that I wanted to tell you. The second thing is, there are case studies, there are questions. Here they will ask for 125 marks, here they will ask for 125 marks, just I said you now. So when you are in the examination hall, you should strictly give 1.5 hours to this paper, 1.5 hours to this paper or to this part. At any cost, you should not cross 1.5 hours at any time. Which means if there are 6 questions in case studies, they will ask only 6, because for each question they will give 15 minutes. So for one case study, you will get 15 minutes. You have to read it, you have to analyze it, and you have to write all the subsections that they have given in the case study. So you should strictly give not more than 1 minute, or not more than 1 minute after this extra 15 minutes for every case study. So respect every question and finish it in time. Timing is very, very important. So that is the second thing that I wanted to tell you. So reading and knowing how to frame the answer, how to divide the time that we have, 1.5 hours for this, 1.5 hours for the questions. These are the two things that you should have. And now to answer this within 15 minutes or to answer this within 10 minutes or 7 minutes that you have, you should have framework to answer. Go with a pre-planned framework. What do I mean by framework? Though the question paper length is increasing, one positive aspect that you can observe is the questions are, again, they are asking same questions. For example, let me tell you this. They are asking in a similar pattern. Look at this 2021 paper or 2022 paper. Let me go through the question, this one. Case studies. Look at the case studies. I'm not reading the entire case study. I'm asking the questions, looking at the questions. Discuss the ethical issues involved. Critically examine the options available. Which of the above would be the most appropriate option? These are the 3 questions that they asked. Discuss the ethical issues. Critically examine the options. Which of the above would be most appropriate? Today I'm going to discuss case studies, because 125 marks we have to complete within 2 days and we have to get expert there. Then we can go with the theory part. Look here. Second question. So there are 3 questions that they have asked in the first case study. What are the options available? Again, they are asking the same question. What are the options available? Case might be different. Options won't vary to a very larger degree. There will be at max 6 or 7 options in any case study. So once you know that 6 case studies, 6 options, immediately whenever they are asking this question, okay, these are the choices that I have, we will reflect the thing. What option should Ramesh adapt? Critically evaluate each option. What are the ethical dilemmas? What policy measures to be taken to combat illegal migrants from the neighboring countries? If you look at this question, again the questions are repeated here. What are the ethical issues? Critically examine the options available. What is the most appropriate thing? They have repeated this. Options available. What is the best option? What is critically evaluate each option? These 3 are again asked. No. Look at the next question. What are the options available? Critically evaluate each of the option. Ethical dilemmas. Again they asked this. What option is most appropriate? This is repeating, and this is 2 times repeated in this paper. In the above example, what training do you suggest for police officers? This is the next one. Look at the next question. Under the given conditions, what are the options available? Critically evaluate each option. What options do you adapt and why? Again, repetitive. So even the length of the paper is increasing. One thing that you have to understand is questions don't go beyond a particular extent. The moment you understand this, our brain will be prepared to directly address what is the thing that it is being asked. Right? What are the ethical dilemmas that are included? What can be the consequences of overlooking the observations? What are the options available? Critically examine ethical dilemmas. Now look at the last question. Options available, critically examine measures to ensure this ethical dilemmas. So if you look at here, after every case study, they are repeating some statements. So what are the statements? What are the options that are available in this case study? What is the best option that so and so Prabhat, Ramesh, you and me can opt here? Suggest some. What are the ethical dilemmas? Third one. And the fourth one that you have is, what is the suggest any option which you think is good? That again we'll link it with best option. And the last one that they are asking is, they are asking some subject specific questions. Subject specific means some GS questions. Like if it is disaster management, what steps can be taken in disaster management? If it is something like planning, what steps can be taken during planning? So this is the new aspect that UPSC has introduced from 2020. Have a look at this. What is that last new aspect? In the above scenario, what type of training do you suggest for police officers? Whatever the scenario is, there should be some specific guidelines for police officers. So irrespective of the case, so what are the suggestions for police officers training? So this is general studies paper 2 answer. Look here. What policy measures do you take for infiltration of illegal migrants? Irrespective of the case study, this is a common answer, because whenever you are studying internal security, there will be problem of illegal migrants. So how you are going to deal with the problem of illegal migrants? So that is the direct answer here. No need to study the case study at all. So again, look at this. So this is the new thing that they have started asking. See, what type of mechanisms would you suggest to ensure environmental compliance? This is again environmental studies paper. So what I want to tell you is, in all these 125 marks of case studies, though the question paper length has been increased, but the questions that they are asking is not more than 5 questions in every case study. Options, best option, ethical dilemmas, suggest any option, and subject specific questions they introduced in 2020. Subject specific means, just now I said, what are the measures that it can be taken. So that they are directly linked with the questions. So whenever we prepare case study, what we are preparing is not the case, but this one. For every case study, there will be certain set of options. In that, we will choose best option because our rationality says which is best. And there will be always ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemmas will be common for any case study. Suggest any option. Again, we will be suggesting the best option. Then general studies questions. So whenever you prepare case study, the answer that you have to know is you have to have this options that are available, best option. So this is the first thing that I wanted to tell you. Now, the next aspect is, what are the options? What is the best option? What is the ethical dilemmas? Suggest any things. From where you will get these answers. Not from the case study, from the theory. From the theory itself, you will get the options. What is the options that you have? Right? Theoretical aspect. What do I mean by theory? Look at the syllabus now. This is General Studies Paper 4. Ethics and Human Interface, Human Values, Attitude, Aptitude, Emotional Intelligence, Contributions of Moral Thinkers, Public Values or Civil Servant Values, Ethical Issues and Corporate Governance, Probity in Civil Service. These are the things. So the best option will be anything which is suiting in this syllabus. For example, Consider this. First one. There is one chapter called Dimensions of Ethics. What are dimensions of ethics, guys? Dimensions of ethics are three types. One is consequential ethics, consequentialism, non-consequentialism, virtue-based ethics. These are the dimensions that you have. In the consequentialism, you have three things. One is something like utilitarianism. Second one is egoism. Third one is common good approach. In the non-consequentialism, duty-based ethics, right-based ethics. In the virtue ethics, you will follow conscience. Ethical dilemmas. Whenever they ask a question like ethical dilemmas, whenever they ask what is the best options that you have or what is the best option that you have to choose, all these things has to be addressed from these dimensions of ethics only. Right? What is the ethical dilemmas? Whether I have to follow duty-based approach or right-based approach is the ethical dilemma. Dilemma is conflict between two good values or two bad values is always dilemma. So which is the best option that I have to follow when two good options are available? When two bad options are available, what is the least bad thing that I have to opt? So that is what ethical dilemma is. And that dilemma will arise only in these dimensions. Whether I have to follow communitarianism, that is utilitarianism, or self-centric approach, that is egoism. Right? So, and the best consequence always is common good approach or conscience-based approach. So whenever they ask ethical dilemmas, this is one type of ethical dilemma that you get in any case study. The second ethical dilemma is conflict of interest. Always you will have conflict of interest in case studies. So what is conflict of interest? When your personal values, professional values are getting overlapped and you are not able to decide whether to give importance to your person or profession, then there will be a dilemma. This is called conflict of interest. The third conflict of interest is you can decide something like morality versus duty based principles. Sometimes they will be contradictory. Right? And the fourth one that I have already said is from these dimensions of ethics. More or less, the conflict of interest will be the same way. So whenever they ask this type of question, like what are the ethical dilemmas? Your ready-made answer is the ethical dilemmas that I am facing in this case study is one is dimensions of ethics, whether I have to follow duty or the so-called morals, duty-based approach or right-based approach, whether I have to follow utilitarianism or egoism. Third one is whether I have to give self-interest versus the so-called public interest. This is conflict of interest. Fourth one is something like this. You can always write. Right? So there will be this ethical dilemmas. So whenever they ask, you have to pick up the same thing and you have to write it. Now suggest any best option. The best option for any ethical dilemma or any of these options is Gandhiji has given duty versus right. Depending upon the case, you take right-based approach because individual rights are very important in society where civil society have many rights like India. Second one is egoism versus utilitarianism. Go for common-based approach, common good approach. Self versus public. Public interest should be given first as a servant. So these things. So what I mean to say is, when you read the question, you should know some ethical dilemmas prior hand. You should prepare only this. Okay, whatever the question is, my ethical dilemmas in this case will be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll choose 4 here. I will write what is the best one. So this has to be prepared. What are the options that are available? Options are again the same thing. Right? But depending upon the case, you can take the options. Right? So this is the thing that you have to prepare. General studies questions, anywhere you will write it from general studies. No need to prepare it from the case. If you are prepared like this, within 15 minutes, you will be able to prepare or write one case study. This is the first thing that you have to remember. The next question is, sir, where do I get these case studies or these options? Right? That is the question. The answer is, look at the syllabus clearly. Look at the previous year questions clearly. Look at your basic books that you are following. Whatever the book, I don't want to name some books now because you are already preparing it. Syllabus and previous year questions gives you some options. Or look at some answer writing of some people, like in Insights, they will be writing some answers. In Forum IS, they will be writing some answers. Extract the content from there and keep the options available which are ready. So this is the thing that you have to have. Guys, this is going to get disconnected within less than 1 minute. Please join me again if it gets disconnected. So this is the thing that I wanted to tell you. Syllabus, previous year questions, basic book.